Hey everyone, welcome back to my cooking channel. So today we are making some delicious shrimp spring rolls with 3 different sauces. And let me tell you, these sauces are delicious. Every single one very different, but very tasty. So I hope that you enjoy this recipe. With spring right around the corner, these are the perfect appetizer or the perfect meal on their own. So if you would like to see how I make these sauces and how I make the spring rolls, then don't go too far. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I like to get out of the way is the cooking of my shrimp, because I do want these to be cold when it comes time to assembly. So I'm going to start off by cooking these for about 5 to 7 minutes in some very hot water. Do not overcook these because they will become rubbery and chewy. This is about 6 minutes in. I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to dump the water and transfer them into a bowl, which I will be adding a few ice cubes to, and then putting this directly in my refrigerator so that they cool down and do not continue to cook. These are perfect. Let's go ahead and start with the sauces. I like to make the sauces first. That way, once we assemble our spring rolls, our sauces are ready. So the first sauce that I really like, or actually all of my family likes this sauce, it's the peanut butter sauce, and it is obviously peanut butter based, and then we add a couple of extra ingredients to add a little more tang, a little sweetness, a little saltiness. This sauce is absolutely delicious, not only for spring rolls, anything that you want to add a peanut flavor or peanut sauce to, this is your go-to sauce. It's great over salad as well. You can see all of the ingredients here on the screen, and I am not actually giving you measurements. What I like to do is to add all of the details, ingredients, and measurements in the description bar below. That way you always have that to refer to. So do not forget to check the description box for exact amounts and exact ingredients. That way you have it for reference. Here I'm moving pretty quickly just so that you guys can stay with me, and we are making 3 sauces, so I'm trying to keep the video as short as possible. Once I have added most of my liquid stuff, I'm going to go in with my soy sauce and then ginger. Soy sauce, I have a little less. You can see the amount here. I'm going to make sure I put it in the description, but just so you can see, it's a little less than 1/4 cup. Then I'm sprinkling some ginger. And you'll be able to see that the consistency is kind of awkward because the peanut butter is obviously really thick. It'll take a while to mix it here by hand. So what I like to do is I like to throw this in the microwave for about 10 to 15 seconds. That just loosens up the peanut butter enough for us to be able to incorporate. Here it is right out of the microwave after about 12 seconds, and I'm using a whisk as it does help to incorporate it as well a bit quicker. You can see it will start coming together fairly fast once you've kind of warmed up that peanut butter a bit. Don't cook it, just lightly warm it in the microwave. Once I get to this point and I've added all of my base ingredients, I like to taste it. Sometimes, people's liking is different, but sometimes it's a little too salty because of the soy sauce. If you find that that is the case for you, I like to add some lime juice. So I recommend you add a good amount of lime juice. And then I also like to counteract that. I like to add a little more honey. So here is where you're going to taste and decide how you like it better. My husband loves it just salty like that without any of the extra stuff, but I like to add a little extra lime juice, a little extra honey, and that just kind of balances everything a bit more and just knocks off some of that saltiness from the soy sauce and just brings out a little bit more of the peanut sweetness. And here we are. This is the consistency we are looking for. And taste it just for good measure. Make sure it's just how you like it. Now to spicy it up, I'm going to add half of a Thai chili pepper. You can add the whole chili pepper. You can add a habanero if you want it to be that type of spicy. These Thai peppers are hot. I mean really hot, but I feel like this flavor of the Thai chili just really ties in perfect with the peanut sauce. So what I'm doing here is I'm just removing about a couple of tablespoons for my kids, and then I'm gonna add the pepper to the other one, which will be for my husband and I. And you can see this amount is perfect. The recipe that I'm giving you guys makes about 10 to 12 spring rolls, so the amount of sauces is for about that many spring rolls. If you plan on making a lot, double the recipe for any of these and you'll just have a little extra sauce if needed. Now I'm just incorporating the Thai chili into the peanut sauce. I'm gonna put it in a nice cute container so that I can serve it, and then I always like to go in and just taste everything. So that is off to the side. Our sauce number 2 is going to be a fish sauce base. It is delicious. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of fishy, but not overly fishy. It kind of has a really nice vinegar and sweet and limey flavor to it. I want to say this is my favorite sauce out of all 3, but I don't know if I can say that because I really love all of them. They all are so different. So what I recommend is make all 3 sauces the first time that you follow my recipe, and then taste them and decide which one is your favorite. Maybe next time you decide, you know what, I really liked 2 out of 3, or I really loved all 3. I always make all 3 because honestly I love all 3. So here I'm just adding the last of the ingredients. This chili paste here, I'm only going to add a little bit to it, more for coloring, not necessarily for spiciness, because as you can see I'm adding the other half of that Thai chili pepper, which is extremely spicy but so delicious. It complements this sauce just as well as the peanut sauce. So this one is ready. This one was super quick, super easy, a lot less ingredients than the peanut sauce, and just as delicious. I do add the chopped up garlic, chili pepper, and carrot for texture and for visual as well. It's really yummy. As you can see, I added just a little extra splash of the lime. It complements the rice vinegar perfectly. And like I said, I add just a little bit of the chili paste, not necessarily for spice, but just for a little bit of tint and a little bit of color. Feel free to add a little bit more if you want it to really kick. At the bottom here, you can see the sugar is settling, so I'm just going to mix this until the sugar is dissolved, pour it into my serving container, and look at how beautiful this sauce is. And it is so delicious. Moving along to our last and final sauce. This is a hoisin based sauce. I'm going to use mostly hoisin sauce, and then I'm going to sweeten it a little bit with some sugar, and then just kind of balance and counteract that with some lime. So these are all very fresh tasting sauces. As you can see, we're adding lime to just about all of them, and then some of these sauces or the bases are a bit salty, like the hoisin sauce is a little salty, so is the soy sauce in the peanut one. So the lime just kind of breaks that up a little bit and just kind of really gives it a unique flavor. And that is it for the hoisin sauce. It's very easy, very simple. The taste of this one reminds me of something sweet, maybe like similar to a teriyaki, but a bit sweeter. It's delicious. Like I said, all of these are very different, but very tasty. So like I mentioned, do make all 3 if you have all of the ingredients when you're following my recipe, and then decide which one is your favorite. Be sure to let me know in the comments below which one you liked better, or if you're kind of like me where you love all of them. So here we are pouring in our serving container, and you can garnish this with peanuts. I like to garnish it with cilantro leaves. I feel like it looks a little brighter and a little prettier when you serve it to your family or to your friends. So here we are. The hardest part is the sauces, and we've got all 3. They look delicious and amazing. So now let's work on the actual spring rolls. Now, you're probably going to say, why are you cutting up baby carrots? Listen, don't judge me, okay? I started the video and realized that I did not have shredded carrots. So the easy solution, buy a bag of shredded carrots and you are good to go. Or if you have regular sized carrots or baby carrots, a little more time consuming, but sometimes you just got to work with what you got. So I went and shredded these myself. Moving right along, the next vegetable I am using is going to be cucumbers. I like to remove the seeds because they are a bit watery and I don't want them to wet my rice paper too much. So I remove the seeds and then I just cut these into thin slivers. No rhyme or reason, just thin enough where you can add a couple and they won't be so chunky. I'm going to do a whole cucumber and set this to the side. As you can see right above this clip, I have the carrots already set aside in that plate right in front there. So now we are going to slice up our shrimp. I've already drained the excess water that was left from the ice cubes, and I'm going to cut these in half. Now I have tried making these with the whole shrimp and not cutting it in half. It does not work well. It kind of bulges out of the rice paper and eventually tears the rice paper. So be sure to cut these in half so that your spring rolls can hold their shape. Okay, moving right along, we've got vegetables done and we've got the shrimp done. So last but not least, we're going to cook our vermicelli noodles, which are rice noodles. I have this water pretty hot and I'm just going to add them directly to the water. Slowly they will start softening up. Now you don't necessarily want to cook these, you only want to rehydrate them. So they will not be in this hot water for long at all, no more than 5 minutes. So however long it takes you to kind of just incorporate them into the water, leave them in there in the hot water for 5 minutes. I've already turned the heat source off, so now I'm just going to let them sit in hot water until they are nice and soft and pliable. And then I've drained the water and I'm going to transfer these into the bowl that I'm going to be using to assemble my spring rolls. Two other clips that I did not show you was the lettuce and the cilantro, and this was just easy. I just tore up some butter lettuce, put it on my plate, put a couple of cilantro sprigs to go along with the rest of my vegetables. Now I'm going to show you how to actually assemble it. In a flat plate, I'm going to add some warm water, and then I'm going to grab one of my spring roll wrappers, so my rice paper, and I am going to swirl it around, and I just want to rehydrate this, make it pliable. Sometimes these are broken, sometimes they tear. You can see here. If that happens to you, put the tear closest to you because that is the part that you will be rolling first, so the tear will not really make a difference. Let's start assembling. So I start with my butter lettuce. You can use any type of lettuce, your favorite is fine. And right on top of the lettuce, I like to add the noodles. Hereafter, I like to add my vegetables kind of stacked in a row because I like that you can see them once you roll them. If you put all of this on top of the lettuce and noodles, they kind of just disappear when you roll it and they just don't look as pretty. So the way I am assembling it, I feel is the prettiest way to do it. And I just kind of make sure that everything is nice and aligned in the middle, as you can see here. And everything kind of has its own little space, so you can see just everything nice and straight. I'm going to start by folding in that first flap and just getting the noodles and the lettuce in there. Once I do that, I fold in the outside corners and nice and tight, not too tight where you tear the paper, but just nice and slow and tight. And you see the shrimp, you can see everything that's in here, cilantro, the carrots, the cucumbers, and the lettuce. So the way that I assemble them just makes them visually beautiful. And of course, we eat with our eyes first, right? So I have them all done here. And you can see they look pretty and they taste even better. So of course, the babies, they get to eat first usually. And they are loving their spring rolls with all of their sauces. Now it is time for me to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I'm going to have this with all three sauces, which is why I like to make all three because they all taste so different. This one is the Nook Cham. It's delicious. Second, I'm going in with the spicy peanut sauce, just as amazing. And last but not least, I'm going to try the Hoisin sauce. And let me tell you, when I ate my second spring roll, I did the exact same thing. I had all 3 sauces because they are just so good. So be sure to try this recipe. I'm going to add a couple of pictures. If you don't like shrimp, you can do just a vegetarian version with all vegetables. I've also made these with pork belly and then the original with shrimp. So feel free to add whatever you like. And let me know, do you guys like spring rolls? Are you excited that I've showed you how to make them with all of my different sauces? If so, let me know. And don't forget, cheers. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.